Hello, and our guest today has the happy knack of putting his own particular signature to his work.
Takes on a new challenge, that's the word is tonight. So until the 9 o'clock news tomorrow, and with the weather to come, from the newsroom from me, good night.
Of course, Robert Dougal, the BBC television newsreader. There are many people in public life who have another life, perhaps an escape hatch, an interest in wildlife and the countryside, and Bob Dougal is one such person. He also has the distinction of being the president of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. Bob, welcome to the programme.
Hello, Derek.
And for the next half hour, the pick of the BBC Wildlife Library is yours. Anything you'd like to hear, any sounds natural, are yours for the asking.
You really mean that? This is very exciting.
All right. First of all, then, how did you become interested in bird watching?
Well, I think I wasted half my life, you know, Derek, because I didn't really get interested in bird life at all until I was about 30. It all happened when we acquired a holiday cottage on the Suffolk coast. It's a wonderful stretch of coast for bird life, and in no time my interest was aroused because, I saw birds like terns and redshanks, which they'd never caught my attention before. And, once you see a tern diving and you hear a redshank crying over the marshes, it's something that's very arresting, and you don't forget it in a hurry. And, of course, one gets a book on identification. And then, of course, you're hooked forevermore. This wonderful cry of the redshanks.
Yes, a marvellous sound. What do they call it? The
Warden of the marshes.
Yes. Quite close by, you have a bird sanctuary to your home up on the east coast, don't you?
Oh, yes, just down the coast at Minsmere, just a few miles down the coast from me, of course, there's one of the biggest reserves run by the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. It's 1,500 acres of mixed habitat. You've got a stretch of heath and reed beds and woodland where the wildlife is completely undisturbed. And not only birds, you see, Derek, but there in the summer it's wonderful for wildflowers, butterflies, shimmer of dragonflies all over the place, absolutely marvellous. And there you get them in abundance. And the butterflies, well, you get the red admirals, peacocks and tortoiseshells tumbling about in the air, just as we used to see them pretty well everywhere in this country when I was a lad. But, they're one of the things that have passed, aren't they? But they're still there at Minsmere.
Well, can we play some sounds from Minsmere for you? Perhaps you might be able to tell us if you recognise some of the birds.
I'll do my best. There's the old sedge warbler anyway, for a start.
A cuckoo in the background, I think, too.
I can't get the cuckoo. Yep, you're right, there's a cuckoo.
Oh, quite a gathering there for you. Do you ever use the hides up there?
Oh, indeed I do. In fact, I remember the first time I ever went into a hide at Minsmere was in 1950, shortly after Minsmere was opened, because I don't think it was opened until about 1948. And, these hides are quite permanent affairs. Some people think of them just as a strip of canvas, but the hides at Minsmere are very fine wooden constructions, and you go in there and you raise up the flaps, carefully so as not to alarm the birds at all. And the very first time I went in there, raised up the flap, and there, just about a couple of yards in front of my nose, was a kingfisher hovering, and almost as if suspended on an invisible thread. Quite extraordinary, because one usually just sees a kingfisher as a sort of flash of blue across a river or a stream, but there it was, suspended stationary. It seemed like for at least half a minute.
When did you join the RSPB?
About 20 years ago, in 1950. We only had 5,000 members or so then, but now we're up to 65,000, I'm glad to say.
And then you visited Minsmere regularly, did you?
Yes, the RSPB hadn't acquired Minsmere very long. They acquired it about 1948. And I remember first going over there when Dick Wolfendale was the warden. He was a splendid chap. And then Bert Axel took over in 1959. He came up from Dungeness because a nuclear power station had displaced him at Dungeness. Strange enough, he came up to Minsmere, and then they started building another nuclear power station at Sizewell.
Do you get to know Bert very well?
Very well indeed. I like to think of him as a good friend of mine. Bert and his wife, they're the greatest friends of mine. I'm always dropping in to see them.
And they helped with your bird watching?
Oh, enormously.